It's always super cool to watch Ray in team fights and go after the backline, but as they pointed out on the analyst desk, he was ineffective in the 1v1 side lane, top laner's duty of split pushing and, trying to hold that Shen or, work with minion waves and objectives. Did lose a lot of ground there. So, maybe they go for a different look because, as we said in Game 1 Champion Select, both these top laners have had strong Narn performances in recent weeks. All right, start from the very beginning here. Bans across the board. Hecarim there. I expect a Sivir to actually come through again. There it is.
Pretty similar to our last bans. Wasn't expecting to see the Ashe go through, but we did. As well as that Aurelia was something that CLG banned as one of their last ones. So what does Apex choose to make theirs? Bless you, Kobe.
Excuse me.
And they're definitely taking their time here, figuring out which would it be the most beneficial to not fight against. Maybe it's comfort for a mid lane. Maybe it's just overall map pressure, and they're not going to let Darshan try to be a carry this time.
All right, well, yeah, Gangplank off the board. That also does kind of open up some top lane matchups. We always point out how Gangplank is pretty often picked into Shen, also often picked into Gnar. We keep trying to make this Gnar thing happen, but didn't happen last time around. Shen is still available, by the way. And, the cross-map opportunities that he provides were big in the last game. Darshan was able to get a lot of work done in the side lanes. He took an entire inhibitor turret and inhibitor while Ray was there with the Baron buff.
It seems like people aren't giving the Shen enough credit early game. We've seen it now twice take over a lane and then completely control the rest of the game from whatever lane he's been in. Watch out for this Shen pick. It will be up once again that Gangplank and the Aurelia are the top lane focus bans for the last two. And this was a Cassiopeia last game as a blind pick on the red side as well. So what do they go for here for Apex?
And I still do like Keen's Cassiopeia, even though there are some mistakes that you can point out, there's a lot of really good plays for him.
You got that jungler as well for Shrimp. I might just go ahead and take that Rek'Sai, be able to get into the fights again with Ray, so they have a Bash Brothers dive line. Definitely taking their time though.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of options here available for Apex. But again, we keep returning to that Shen and the cross-map opportunities that he provides.
Wow, really putting a lot on that Cassiopeia. Why not? He's really been coming up big on it as well. Feels comfortable in the fights. See if they can get the wins though. It's not resulting in the end game that they really want to get. Maybe it's what they form around this composition here. Kind of makes it easy for CLG, who he knows what he's going to be up against in mid lane. And they just saw this.
Yeah, number one step for this game for CLG is going to be righting the wrongs of the first 2 minutes. And trying to initiate the game in at least even ground. Maybe they can try and get that lane swap to start their advantage that way. First of all, Darshan, such a good side lane pressure with Shen in the last game. Gonna have the long range engage again from Ashe. So CLG right back to those same picks.
Gnar this time instead of the Echo possibly in that top lane for Ray. I feel like CLG getting all of these is they're going to feel so comfortable coming into this game. We'll know more that they can easily wait for a 6 if Apex doesn't try anything crazy, and then it's arrows in the rest. They might even still get the Bard for Aphromoo in this composition here as no supports are even being hovered as well. What will it be? Apollo may still favor the Ezreal, the safety in that, as well as the ability to help the team connect with those kills.
Especially considering that video we just saw from Apollo, where he's saying a lot of the time their team devolves into the Korean-speaking 3 having one game plan and going off and doing one objective, and the 2 English speakers having their own, or 3 actually, because Keen speaks really good English. It's just that he doesn't speak very often and he's kind of quiet. And he can try and be the bridge between those, I think is the theory. But anyways, Apollo, if he is left on an island with
you can do a little
one
bit
or
more
2
for yourself.
of his teammates, yeah, exactly. Being able to have that mobility and kind of the self-peel of Ezreal makes you feel more confident.
What is it for the side of Counter Logic Gaming? Oh, the Nidalee getting locked in for Smithy, and they do decide to go with that Bard at support.
I like this because it feels like Smithy's got a more adaptable champion pool than Shrimp. And Shrimp not quite as flexible from the jungle as far as the champions that he's going to pick up. This time around, he tries to steal away the Gragas, but Nidalee has such a strong clear advantage and tempo advantage versus a Gragas jungle. It kind of puts a lot of weight on the Gragas shoulders. If he doesn't create something, then Nidalee will outpace you, will counter jungle you, will start to gain a large level advantage over you.
I like the choice of the Nidalee as well. Makes things a little bit easier for the Bard, the Ashe, and the Shen hitting their skill shots or taunts. And the Gragas being picked up, maybe Apex said, we take the Gragas away. They don't have as much initiation with a Rek'Sai, even though Rek'Sai has been the one that's picked. It goes to the wayside, and we see that Gnar is grabbed. And the Braum once again. So a lot of things gone back to here in Game 2 for Apex, more so for CLG.
All right, yeah. The reason why we kept on bringing up the Gnar in the Champion Select of last game was because Ray on the Gnar, yes, he has had great teamfight presence on, you know, pretty much most of the champions that he picks. You know, he's great at switching between backline threats. You know, he's navigating the 5-on-5s pretty well. On Gnar, he has that with, you know, Mega Gnar obviously and Giant AoE stun, but he also has played the side lane part really well with the Gnar and gotten side lane pressure. And Shen is definitely a champion where Mini Gnar can try and control the Shen pretty well. And we'll see here as the last pick does round it out for CLG. Again, same matchup, who he grabs up the victor. We'll see if he's doing more wave clearing or more champion clearing.
As well, we have to keep an eye on this game. We'll be forced to see it if Counter Logic Gaming tries to play the lane swap initially. Continuously avoiding Apex was the way for CLG to slow Apex down in the early game. In Game 1, and they were able to finally take a lead. It took a while. Both teams found themselves tripping over each other in fights constantly. And we'll have to see if that happens again this game. Hopefully we get the same amount of pressure from both teams. They come out with compositions that still want to fight. We'll see if Counter Logic Gaming can kind of slow things down and do it the way they usually do in that rotation style.
Yeah, Apex here, there still is hope for them to get into the playoffs. If they can turn this series around, take this game and turn it around for the next one, then there's a possibility if Echo Fox beats Envy that Apex could move up into their spot. So they, you know, they have to start right here and get step number 1 done. It's
going to be difficult coming into games like this. Obviously, the veterans kind of know what mental state to be in, but the people who aren't veterans, you know, need to look for that guidance sometimes, possibly. Also, those jitters hopefully just go to the wayside in the game. Somebody like Stixay we saw on the international stage was able to pull out huge plays. That's the kind of stuff Apex needs to find here. Keep themselves in, keep the fans hoping and wishing that the playoff spot is alive. You see the compositions. One last vote over on Twitter, possibly, as CLG tries to make this the game point. Hashtag CLG win or hashtag Apex win, as we're about to get on to the Rift. A very great start from Apex last game, but the finish wasn't there. Something the team said they've been working on, and we'll see if that takes effect here in Game 2.
Yeah, coordination, word of the day for them. Definitely something they've been working on and will continue to work on. See if they can make improvements from Game 1 to game number 2. Meanwhile, CLG, they have secured that 4th place spot.
Yeah.
You know, they are going to be playing Liquid. They are going to have side selection versus Liquid in the playoffs, and just trying to get ready for the all-important playoff run. This game's starting off eerily similar to the last one, where mid lane trading a lot with Keen and Huhi, but it is going to be the lane swap wards being put down this time rather than the level 1 skirmish. Smithy getting ready to kill this ward. Special doesn't even place it. Hard to kill it now. Nobody else in range. Oh, close.
Couldn't get it out. Not what the doctor ordered. So Darshan, looks like they're actually going to go to the mid here. And then fan out. See if they can avoid all these wards.
Yep. So the CLG solos are going to wait around here in the fog of war. Try and wait till they see some info. as to where the Apex duo is going. Quick little ping down there, and they got a little inkling. Apex up on top now. So get away from the double ranged here. The red ping from CLG did go down on Gragas, so guesstimating the Gromp start. They are going to go check the duo, the Krugs here, and find nothing.
And back to farming. So no invades on either side are going to be possible on this, especially as well to the top is just going to help push these in. And we'll see how it starts off if CLG can kind of get it in their favor this time. By now, we already had about 3 kills last game. So definitely quite different here, setting the pace. Yeah, starting things off.
CLG actually look like they're going to try and push this turret down very quickly. They left 1 extra camp on their blue quadrant. Smithy did not take the wolves, and he moved very quickly into this red quadrant of Apex to start clearing it out, whereas Shrimp full cleared his blue quadrant side on Gragas. Doesn't want to leave any behind. Make his way over there a little bit later. Everybody in place for the pushes, though, and they look like they'll be pretty much on par.
The trade happens. A bit of a speed increase from Essence Flux, definitely helping that timing on the top side.
This could be a move mid here from Smithy because he left up that wolf camp and went mid a lot earlier, and it might not be answered by Gragas because Gragas is still clearing out camps. Never mind, Smithy decides not to go for it, and turns to farming.
Keep it up. You can usually hope that the other jungler's doing the same in the lane swap as the turret takedown happens, so they actually even out quite nicely on that. And it looks like the gold was actually given to the top laner. CLG, pretty sure they gave it to Darshan as they were up by the tri-brush.
Yeah, good little harass there by Keen under the turret, forcing Huyi to miss some CS, pushes him in. And Smithy just goes over to his red side right after Shrimp cleared each camp, so nothing left for him, and he wasted quite a bit of time walking up there.
Oh, so it wasn't solo for Darshan. Ray is up another 250 on that, so a little bit of extra gold for Ray in that situation.
Yeah, always do need to keep track of those things, even though they seem very minor. A little bit of gold when, you know, the top laners are so weak right after lane swaps. When they meet up, that little difference does end up taking a toll eventually.
So wait on mid. Get that scuttle. We're gonna go in hard here and try to get the flash on Keen. It's something they did in the previous game as well, and came back for another attack just after.
Yeah, but I mean, Keen not pushed up in the lane. You know, after everybody disappears during the second swap, got to play a little bit more defensively. He does that after he sees everyone pass through and they're on vision. Goes aggressive again. So Keen, again, strong mid lane play from him thus far. And the second turret trade will commence. Shrimp and Ray a little bit slower over to that side, but this is also Apex on the Drake side. Now, they don't have a huge tempo advantage. You know, they're going to take the turret a little bit quicker. That Essence Flux we talked about doing some work, and that might be enough for them to head down to the Drake and take it. But if CLG really wanted to try and send some extra effort down there, they do not though. So Apex will take their prize. Solo gold over to Ray on Gnar and take up the Mountain Drake.
Very nicely done. Smithy cleaning out more. He's like, I got a power farm. I am just going to power farm this entire jungle. Come out, start to snowball my lanes when I get the chance. And knowing the Apex is on the bottom side, he's got to give that respect to power in numbers. Turret falls now on the top, bottom as well. And Apex grab turret Mountain Drake for objectives, so.
Gets a summoner. Whoa. 2 summoners there for Smithy. See, that's what we're talking about, where if you actually had mid lane control, it would have made a big difference. But I think the backbreaker there was that Keen on the Cassiopeia had been maintaining control of the mid lane, and so it made it really hard for CLG to send, you know, even that token force of champions down to the Drake to try and contest it and not take it, but force Apex off of it. Anyways, though, they do get 2 flashes for their trouble as Smithy heads down there, plus a couple extra camps here. don't have time for that pink ward. We'll let Aftermoo take care of it.
Safe. Why not? A little more gold for support. That'll help everybody out, right? A much slower game here. Feels like this will play in the favor of Counterlogic Gaming as they can slowly set things up. Make sure they're getting into places that are already warded, already safe. Pink wards to the right as well as a forward vision ward, so they'll be able to clean this up. Good warding though by Apex. This could be a teleport play if they really have the positioning with the way they're placing mid lane wards, or I should say wards in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, waiting around here down on the bottom side in the jungle. And Shen's still level 4, so it's no Stand United, but it would just be answer teleport.
Right.
The Ezreal's top side, so CLG could have a 5 vs 4 advantage down here. It's just that he's so low level, it's not a huge impact, right? So it's not really worth using that big summoner and giving up map control of this large minion wave that is building on the top side.
CLG got to feel pretty confident as well, seeing tiers being stacked right now. Gonna take too much damage even if they do get into fights. Special gets called down. Aftermoo knows he can fight it here. Really playing up in the face of Apex on this one. At this point, Apex was trying to get, or I should say Counterlogic Gaming was trying to avoid Apex. This time they're going right into them, not trying to swap out those lanes. Shrimp 34 to 32. Jungler's doing quite well for themselves here, as it looks like they're going just about the same build path for the start.
Yeah, Smithy actually heading back up to the top side there. Using a lot of time. I don't think they really have a lot of kill pressure there on Apollo, and just gonna try and clear out the wards around in his jungle. But yeah, Apex hold on to that Drake lead. Maybe the Mountain Drake extra damage to the objectives will mean that they can actually finish them off, you know, instead of focusing more on the skirmishes back to back. Try and make use of that mountain.
What a difference. I figured somebody would still have that itch to keep fighting, but I guess the lane swap really sets the tone of the game overall. You have to keep going that way. You make an off choice against somebody like CLG and you find them on your inhibitor turret pushing at least just about 15 minutes into the game. Here we've swapped 2 on each side, so the gold income is just about even. And this one may actually go quite long as well, just like the last game, even without the kills. It's going to be quite interesting. Jarm's Fist for Ray, he's getting a little bit bigger. Hopefully provides more of an impact in the split lane push, as Darshan has been pretty effective on this Shen pick in the top lane. 3 bot, CLG may look to get a kill out of this one, but Apex also converging.
Yeah, I mean, the constant fight over this vision on the bottom side is important because the next Drake is Infernal Drake, and both teams are going to want to try and maneuver into position and try and get vision down early so they can contest it. Considering how close this game is, you know, Shen does have his level 6, so Stand United is available. And actually, Ray doing a lot of work on that now. They're going for the engage.
Oh, that's Aftermoo. He's going to get the concussive blows. Winter's Bite just misses. No, they get it. A Mystic Shot hits, and a very true shot barrage gets the first kill there. Darshan back and forth. Ray still has the range for the pickup on that swoop in with the Gnar ultimate blocked out. There's the hit coming in after he steps off the sword. Darshan and Aftermoo down.
Yeah, great accuracy from Apollo on the bottom side with the Ezreal, lands the last Mystic to proc the stun and the ultimate over the top. Then Ray with the outplay on top side with Darshan here. All right, we'll start off on the bottom. You know, a little bit of harassment. It's really a Shrimp coming in here with a magnificent Gragas ultimate. Hits all 3 members, plus knocks back the 2 squishy backline members. Special lands. The Braum passive stacking up, and they finish that one off. Meanwhile, this one was just a pure outplay as Ray takes down Darshan. Oh, man. Losing on both sides of the map there at the same time for Counterlogic Gaming. Off to another rough start.
Yep.
If you guys didn't see the first game, it was a lot worse, though. Counterlogic Gaming were down 5 kills to 0 at the 4-minute mark in the last game. And they just kept swapping towers back and forth, swapping lanes back and forth, and creating skirmish after skirmish after skirmish. And Apex were kind of happy to go into that sort of style, and Counterlogic Gaming were able to have a scrappy win and bring that one back. Right now they're facing another early deficit. out of the lane, swapping out of cross-map plays there from Apex.
Woo. And that one really a lapse in judgment as well. You can see the vision on that side of the jungle. That's basically what it looked like when they got attacked by Shrimp. They watched him take out a ward and then stayed a bit too long. Will they make the mistake again? Probably not. But it's going to be harder now to get back in that side of the jungle and get the wards going. Like you said, Infernal's going to play a very big role here, and everyone looks like they're set up for it. The top laners are going at it a little bit in the jungle. Looks like they're making sure they can stop the TPs. Darshan would be able to TP at this point.
All right, Darshan got the better of that trade because of the Spirit's Refuge, but Gnar mini form not to be underestimated for the counterattack there.
All the pings, creating a symphony of ping music.
Smithy's still walking back and forth down here around the dragon, trying to protect his Drake.
Looks like they're gonna pull it out. We get the bait, maybe it'll attack them. We get a little extra damage.
He protects it long enough to throw a spear in its eye, make it angry, and
don't worry, I got you. Shh.
Oh man, there we go. Talk about accuracy. Smithy with the long-range spear through the walls here. Oh, Afromu, look at this. He's starting. He's in position to try and get a magical journey to actually go for this. The pings are coming down.
Ooh.
They have vision for both teams, though. Both teams have been able to put down the wards. So unless you get a really good arrow, I don't think they pull the trigger. Because Darshan can just start to push that top wave over. All right, they're forcing it here for Apex. Stand United ready, and CLG looking to go in.
Both top laners have backed, so they can choose to come in if they want. There's a TP. Raze is going to be back by the blue buff. That's it going to Shrimp. They got Inferno, but there's a lot of low HP bars. Darshan in the middle. He gets one, takes down Xpecial. Now he's going for Keen. Shrimp looks like he'll make it out alive. And Hootie is actually going to be able to get through that one. Both live. Keen keeps himself alive as well. Raze there a little short on time as he took the high road after teleporting in. Got a little messy, but Dragon going over to Apex.
Yeah, and CLG enter with 1 kill, but it looked like they weren't ready for a full commit. I mean, Smithy was the one to make the decision there, because the Ash arrow hit. Shen, Stand United, was on Smithy, and he had, I believe, Xpecial hunted. He didn't jump in, though, to get, like, there's an option here, and CLG make a kind of the safer bet and don't fully commit. But look at this. The arrow lands on the outside. You have to always watch Cassiopeia is the main reason. Shen, Stand United's on him, but Smithy doesn't tunnel on saying, oh, we have to rush in there. So he stays kind of on the outside, and they played a little bit safe there for CLG, not fully committing. He did try and flash over to finish Keen off, but Keen was able to slither out of the way of the second half of the laser damage and then fend him off. So only 1 kill for Apex given back in exchange for that Drake, and I like that trade for a mid-game Infernal Drake.
Definitely making things look scary, but choosing the right door, if you will, to come out with the advantage. What's behind door number 1? We might lose a few people, but we come out with the Dragon. You may have come out with an Afromu here as well. Apex doesn't have forward wards, really, I should say, in their jungle. So they say, let's just guard this right here. We're being pushed back.
Yeah, they're trying to punish them for having Ezreal there on the top side, split pushing. Apollo cannot join, but Ray goes in and gets a great stun!
Doesn't get through the journey. They're also bounced right away! Expect the unexpected from this guy in the top lane. Ray coming up huge. He may be able to solidify a kill on Afromu as the rest of the team chases. If not the kill, he did start it. Gets the throw out before the Tempered Fate. And it looks like Keen will go down. Another one of those plays where they say we may lose a few, but we're going to pick up a hell of a lot. Shrimp looks for the last few hits. Is it going to be enough? The shield by Hugi. He never gives up, and that's the way you play it.
He lives at the end with the Victor guiding backwards, but still, it's Apex with the advantage here, and he's on the run. Just Victor all by himself.
They see him.
No friends around him, and he's going to have to pull some solid snake moves out of this one. Minions have found him.
He's got the speed. Lasers through.
Execute. It's been a while since
Minions can
hit.
trigger. Okay, so he was good. Minions can trigger the damage still being on you. So
yeah,
he was good.
Special got the experience and range for that, but no kill gold going over. Right. Apex though, they come out ahead.
Here's again.
This is why we keep talking about Ray and Ray's Gnar. Yeah, the Ezreal's on top side, but look at this. Flash double stun Even got Aframu at
so crazy.
Started the boulder toss there. Okay, so this is the one where boulder toss is one of those moves where if he starts it, you have to kill him to stop it. If you stun him or if you get him with that stasis, it's gonna complete. The only way to stop it is to kill him, and not able to kill him there. So here we go. Uhi actually with the kiting. Meanwhile, down there, Darshan did die, but gets the extra speed boost and the shield. Goes on a long journey to execute himself afterwards. That's your reward. Go die to a turret and delay some of the extra members of Apex time.
Ooh, it's getting there again, Kobe. Somebody lit the fuse. Both of these teams are starting to get bloodthirsty again.
I mean, yeah, man. There's nothing really to compare to last game, though. And the breakneck pace that we had, skirmish after skirmish after skirmish, we actually went from live fight to team fight replay for about 20 minutes straight. This one, definitely a lot more relaxation.
Like rabid teams. Yeah, definitely sitting back a little bit more. Turrets falling a little bit quicker to start. On the outside of the map, still have these middle ones to work through. You see a little bit of damage on the side of Apex. Chronologic Gaming, actually just about the same. This may be the next area of a fight. It's going to be Stixxay cleaning up on the top side, so he's going to get nice and big. Finished up his Essence Reaver already, but looking to get a little more damage under his belt here before they start mini fights.
And Ray, that's what we talked about in Champ Select, where Gnar is going to bring both a good split pushing presence and a huge team fight presence. It's kind of sad for Apex that Ray can't be in both places at once, split pushing and with the team, because he is the one with a huge amount of the advantage. He's the one with the gold as well as the talent, you know, creating all these plays. His Frozen Mallet's already done. He's working on Black Cleaver. This Gnar is out to a huge start in this game. Even though it's a lane swap and he has low farm because it was lane swap top laner, he's got a whole bunch of gold with those 4 kills. And they're starting to work up the vision here for Apex. Really, they want to play around their power player, which is Ray once again.
It is kind of crazy how they focus on him and can focus on him. Plays the Echo, not tanky enough. I can do the same thing with Gnar, and he really can. His confidence exudes with the champion. He knows how to play. And Victor, he going down with really out of say of a summoner as Apex close in on him real quick.
Patience here from Apex, waiting on their pink ward, knowing that they have the true sight. Snake in a bush and drunk man on the cliff. Smithy goes for the initiation with the flash, and they grab Huhi. Even with both summoners available, no way of getting out of that one, because Shrimp did not hesitate with the Gragas combo. And had plenty of damage. Now that's going to be Drake starting off another fight.
Oh, so these spears have been hitting. I've been wondering when Smithy can actually act on them. Look at all the health bars. It's just that CLG cannot find a way into that initiation just yet. Almost stolen. Great spear, but still the smite
Frozen
a little
Mallet.
bit better from Shrimp. Darshan not looking good on this one. Gets bumped up there. Slowed down. Frozen Mallet. Blocked on that, but he steps off the sword once again. And Darshan goes down. It was only a matter of time. He will have teleport up to get back into a play if it's necessary for the team. But Apex are starting to gain some great ground. And here it is. A lot of counter logic gaming in a bad position, but the rest of CLG in a good spot at the right time.
Whoa, the predictive Bard ultimate just a little bit early.
Glad you saw that too. Absolutely crazy. Missed it by a hair, and Xpecial gets the safety. Darshan coming back up, so things gonna fizzle out here. And we're gonna take a break.
See, it's always great. People mention, yeah, this guy's just so smart. He's one step ahead of his opponents all the time. But Aframu was 2 steps ahead there. Extra second. Xpecial flashes over after Bard ultimate drops on the ground and is able to escape with his life.
All right, Apex, what is in the books? Looks like it's going to be a bit of Baron vision. Make sure nothing happens too crazy. And we'll see this again. Stixxay was a little too far up, it seems.
Yeah, so Smithy was farming the enemy jungle, and Stixxay was trying to push up mid lane. But turns out, oh gosh, stunned target.
Yeah, he called the flash over, but it was passive stun. Whoops. Replays. What replays? There's more fights still.
All right, Ray in the 2 versus 1.
He's gonna gnaw out. You usually know what happens here. The wallop misses. He splits the upright of Xmithy and Aframu and goes down.
Picture of a caged animal there. Dangerous as Ray is, 3 members around him and they're kiting him. Unable to fend off all the attackers. And CLG again are starting to make headway back into this game. Again, they're having to do it from such a hole though.
Yep.
3 extra Drakes over to Apex. Gold lead still in Apex favor, although CLG are closing that gap quickly.
A little bit faster than last game as well. They're starting to find their footing in a spot where it would matter to stop or start getting these Barons a little bit earlier, possibly. The clearing of the wards begins. Who's going to have a better security system? Because it will pay off huge.
Yeah, it begins. Oh, fight over those
Nice
mid-game neutrals. All starts with the ward fight. And this has really been the story of CLG in the second half of this split. All right, let's put a stop to that story as Apex are going for the sneaky little Baron here. CLG do not suspect a thing. Stixay has Hawk Shot, I believe.
I mean, you have a Cassiopeia.
There it is, and it's already dead.
It goes over to Shrimp, the arrow.
Blocked by
Shrimp. It'd be
Special,
good.
I think. We'll have to take a, I don't even know what happened over there. I think Special might have.
Looking, oh, he's got Banshee's Veil. It literally just came back up because we didn't see it before.
Good work, Sherlock.
What was that? It's all right.
That's fine. Banshee's Veil was picked up early for Shrimp. Yeah, because if, yeah, all right, never mind. We're kind of at that point. Anyways, the real story was
story time.
The sneak on the Baron there from Apex. We keep on talking about the late games damage of Cassiopeia, but it really starts earlier than that. And Keen, DPS monster here. They burn it down. You leave Baron invisible, you know, out in the fog of war for that long. Apex do not want the same thing to happen this game that happened in game number 1. They've got all the objective focus, the early Drakes, plus the Baron this time around. Now, you need to convert that into map control. Because CLG, look at all the wards on the map right now. CLG has defensive wards. They have forward-facing wards right now as well, and they're going to try and wave clear. But Baron buff from Apex should at least mean outer turret push.
Oh, good pickup for the Banshee's Veil. Shrimp's actually been finding himself be in the forefront of tanking the Drake, tanking these spears that Smithy's been throwing in, so this should work, along with a bit of that magic resistance. Apollo to push the top side now. It's going to be a little bit faster than Darshan in the bot side, so we'll see how they activate this and if Darshan is called up by a Stand United. Expect a fight pretty soon here. Apex has moved their wards just a bit more forward.
So you're saying I should talk about my CLG story again if we're expecting action?
I'm glad you caught on.
All right, we'll wait for the siege to continue until we have a little bit downtime for that one, because Apex are moving back to mid, swapped up top. They didn't get any damage on the top side, and CLG are trying to clear, but the Baron-empowered minions mean they take so much less damage from AoE. They're able to move in, and they are able to cash in on their Baron buff.
Another Mountain Drake 1 minute down the road. Ray using the Gnar ult because he can. Trying to push Darshan out here. Having another turret down would be perfect for these guys, but he can't get closer with that Baron buff on just yet. The team will help, and this is great if Apex is able to start denying these resources and just running from lane to lane in the inner part of CLG's jungle. That's what CLG basically got back doing last game.
Yeah, 50 seconds left on the Baron buff. And Apex are looking to get an inhibitor turret. CLG are spread out. Nobody here for defense. They're walking through the jungle. They're recalling in mid lane. They're giving up an inhibitor turret.
Mid. Oh my word. And I think they're gonna have to give up the inhibitor. Kobe completely out of position and not ready to even engage going back into the fight.
Yes, on one hand, there is a large objective advantage for Apex with the 3 Drakes and the Baron buff, but the item lead wasn't that huge. There was a bit of a gold lead for Apex, but it hadn't been back to purchase in a long time since they got those extra turrets. And CLG, they lost a lot off of this Baron buff that Apex were able to sneak. That was a very huge play for them. Now are they going to pull the trigger on the Drake?
This is so big for them to have Scuttle. They're dodging a lot of skill shots, taunts, lasers. They can get right out of that damage. And with the Drake, that's the third Mountain Drake. We'll see no more of that type of Drake this game, and they're all Apexes at this point. A nice binding, but is it an initiation? The magic resistance helping right there onto Huhi, and they lock him down. It was already scary to be fighting Apex in a position they had the ground on.
Yeah, Apex definitely angry that they lost the last game after that early lead.
Oh, yeah.
And they are not going to let it happen again. They took 2 turrets, an inhibitor, a Mountain Drake, and then won the team fight versus CLG afterwards. Make that 3 turrets on this very, very long play. It's lasted longer than the entire Baron buff for Apex.
This can all change. A Tempered Fate into an arrow, into a Huhi ultimate. Can be very quick.
Yeah, they don't have those up now.
Exactly.
So
yeah,
it's going to have to be looking later down for a pick. Yeah, exactly.
They're all down at different times.
All right. Back to the story time then, because this split has been a story of struggle for Counter Logic Gaming. They started off with a really rough, opening to the summer split, and then they worked so hard to come back in the second half of the summer split, beating every single team besides TSM and Immortals during the second half of the split in series victory. However, even each series has been a struggle for CLG. They've been getting series win after series win. However, each game is just an arduous journey here. They're struggling from beginning to end. A lot of 2-1 victories, and they've had to work really hard for them. This is no different. First game, huge early deficit. Second game, huge mid-game deficit. But they never give up.
Seems like finding what that has been, since it's almost been an impossible task for them, but they are able to work around it in a game. I mean, this is one of the teams with, I'd say, the least changes, with no changes, who were the champs last year. And TSM comes in with a new support. They're able to kind of work things out. CLG is still trying to find that answer. And for a championship team to be in that spot, it's quite scary because it's not an apparent answer right now. It's difficult.
Yep. Looks like they're going to have to work their asses off in playoffs as well.
True story. See how they act on this. Definitely on the heel. Right now, Apex is ready to just run down this turret. Shrimp already behind it, gets a nice pop-up. 3-man hit with the ultimate as well. The flash initiation was something CLG wasn't even ready for, and the Tempered Fate will only slow things down. The results should stay the same as they just wait for the next minion wave. The turret follows, and here comes the minions.
Yep, Apex are not going to stop now. Mid laner is down. The wave clear is gone. CLG giving them room.
Taking a good bit of poke, though, from these volleys, from the hits. Smithy's javelins coming in as well. They saved themselves an inhibitor turret. Maybe could have waited for this wave to crush in a bit more, but CLG doing their damnedest to keep them at bay.
Yeah, the Baron spawning, though, is going to pull them off of that siege. And CLG now have to make the difficult choice. They're leaving the super minions on their inhibitor turret. Apex just want to pull CLG out of the base and let those minions take that Nexus turret. Who he has respawned, though. He's back at base. He is going to try and clear them out. CLG do defend this Baron attempt.
Apex came ready to play today. Like we said, this is last chance saloon here. If they've never really played with more pressure to get themselves in another position in the league. And it's not too bad if it's a 7th. They're here again, right? You can be a team that performs next split, but that's not what these guys are gunning for. They're looking for that 6th place spot, and they try now to have a hand in that say.
And Ray, true to form, we always talk about how he loves building damage on most champions. It's gone actually with the, well, never mind.
Almost. They were good.
All right, disengage this time around, but the Mob Almortius, kind of rare on Gnar. He's going with that super offensive build. Because he is ahead and he wants to take over the game. It's been, Stixay!
The body slam missed, so they have a little bit of damage to now follow up on. That's going to be Ray just coming in. Do they have enough? So many heals from Smithy and Summoners used to keep Stixay alive, but it doesn't work. And now they have even more control, but not the HP, possibly, to do Baron.
Look at the inhibitor over there, has blue minions all around it. It will slowly be going down. If Apex can just delay CLG's defense here. Ray circling around for a flank, but Shrimp is low in the Baron.
Tempered Fate is there. The correct choice is to fight. Taking Baron AoE would not help Apex at all, and Shrimp just dodges out to the left. Still has to be careful about the AoE that's happening here. And it looks like CLG, while pushing waves, is also coming back. They do get mid-turret out of this, so they try to open up the map. 4,000 HP on Baron. Smite is up for both junglers. Xmithy gets locked down, so the 50-50 is drowned out.
Shrimp's dead
Shrimp goes down, so there's no Smite there. Oh, he got it! Stolen! Who he's laser comes out true! And CLG take the Baron.
I mean, they take the Baron, but everyone's dead. So Apex are going to go try and make work on the base right now. Stixxay and Aframu, the duo lane defense. There's no minions in mid lane. I thought Apex were going to go top lane where they actually
don't go too far out.
Uh-oh. Yeah. I mean, he does have a hawkshot. He can try and scout for himself, but man.
Bard on his inside there.
The life of CLG fans where they keep on having heart attacks. Apex still have supreme control over this game, even though that Baron steal gives a little bit of life to CLG and gives them a little bit of defense opportunity to stall out this game for a bit longer and try and add some extra items to their inventories. Apex have a much larger lead. While Apex had a lead for a longer time in the last game, this lead is a lot bigger. They have all 5 of the early Drakes. Elder Dragon's coming up.
Oh my word.
They have this giant gold lead and plenty of map control, plus an inhibitor already down. So Apex, they talked about their woes of finishing out games and how difficult it is for them with their coordination and their communication issues, having multiple languages being used on the roster. But they've got to be able to finish out games like this if they're this far ahead. Anyways, Shrimp actually gets hit by a lot of the back spikes from Baron, which occur when there are more people, or as many people behind the Baron as there are in front of it.
They hurt,
and you can't stop it. Like, even though Special got closer to Baron, the AoE back spikes, another one ticked on him, and so he did end up going down there and losing out the Baron because there was no Smite available.
Sure, he was making a face at all the Apex members as he went down there in front of Baron. A little yeah, exactly. He'd be like, take me down. I took your Baron.
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot to go before they get themselves all the way back in. It's about 8,000 gold right now that they need to put themselves back into this game. And one big fight may not be the thing to do it. Spreading themselves thin now as they have to take care of bottom lane. Mid in their favor, not exactly being pushed, but Ray doesn't have that minion wave to get it onto the turret. The Tempered Fate, the arrow, everything can happen. They have a for sure initiation, but they have to make it hit right. It's going to be on to Shrimp. Still holding on to the Tempered Fate. Aframu looking for Cosmic Binding targets as well. Darshan for a taunt target, and it's actually used out. So they give this inhibitor up as well. They may just have to give up more, and eventually the game here, if they don't fight back, it's getting a little harder every time, Kobe.
Oh yeah, they've got no base left. Third inhibitor is going to go down very quickly here. And Apex, all that you have to do at that point is stick around and wait for your glorious super minions to come join you in the enemy base.
You know, we talk about CLG and their wins as well, and how sometimes they aren't pleased. We see Apex be one of the teams that is most displeased with their wins sometimes because they aren't very clean. This is one of the matches that is actually coming together quite well. Even from the first game to now, Apex showing much better here. Unfortunately, a little late in the split, but still helps them have say in where they fall on that positioning board. And now 14-5, they're giving CLG a little bit of breathing room, but they're going to be right back in it in just a few seconds.
It really highlights how important team play and teamwork is in League of Legends. Apex is one of those teams with the multiple languages, with the communication issues and the coordination problems that have had frustrations of strong individual performances, but trouble closing out games. This one, though, they have all the odds in their favor.
Apollo may have manifested this for the team. We heard in the roll-in that we need to be more decisive. The calls and communication at the end of the game need to come through clear. And here is where they may be able to make that happen. A few more minion waves is what they need to get onto the Nexus turret. CLG skill shots not finding their targets, allowing Apex to stand there very healthy and ready for the final fight. CLG has to go for broke. Shrimp pours one out for the homies on the right side, and it may have actually been a mistake. Tempered Fate onto Keen. The DPS is shut down. He actually grabbed Apollo on the end as well, and it's helping them only a little bit. Onto Darshan, they grab one of the tanks, and now they're onto the Nexus. There's not enough focus for Chronologic Gaming, and Apollo and the rest of the team has their eyes focused on the prize. That's the Nexus, and that's the focus for Game 3 coming through. APX take down Chronologic Gaming.
More sighs of relief there from Apex and kind of a calm demeanor after the game rather than celebration.